UFC Mexico City is this weekend, and I'm going to give you my picks and predictions for the entire card. We're going to start with the first fight of the night. Oh my god, my nose is fucked up right now. Got a good jab to the nose yesterday. Thought it broke for a second, but it's good. I mean, it's always been a little fucked up, but it's looking a little more fucked up than normal, so it is what it is. Got to deal with it, and we'll be back. But I'm 72-47, went 7-6 last week on the London card. The London card was one of those ones that were good on paper, but you just knew it was going to be shit. I told you guys, these London cards always end up sucking. It's a decision fest. People get over technical. They're just not great fights when they're in London. So, I think this Mexico City card's actually going to be fucking sick. I know the last one was terrible. Like, it was god-awful. But I actually think this one's going to be sick. And we're going to get to breaking down all the fights again. 72-47, so that's a 60.5% record. Not bad. I'd like to get to 65. That's the goal. I've just had a couple of 7-6 weeks back-to-back. But, I'm due for like a fucking 10-2. Right? I'm due for one of these big ones. So, let's do it. Markel Medeiros versus Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard's tough. He's gritty. He's decent. Like, he's been in there with some really, really good competition. I believe it was Alex Hernandez in his last fight. Yeah, and it was a split decision. I thought Hernandez barely won, but Hubbard actually fought really, really well in that fight. He beat Figlak, man fight. Got subbed by Hollabaugh. Before that, he was in the UFC. He was in Tough. Listen, Hubbard's not shit. But I actually think Markel Medeiros is going to get this done. I think he's a very good fighter. I just think Markel Medeiros underperformed in his last outing against Landon Quinones. He still won. I think it was a 29-28 decision over Landon Quinones. It was in Dolidze versus Imavov, if I'm correct. Yeah. So it's been a year since he's fought. I'm willing to bet he's just taken all of that time. Yeah, it was 29-28. Very close on the strike numbers. The headshots weren't the best, but like he was able to land to the body. He was able to land to the legs. Major pause moment there. And Quinones can be tough, dude. He can be tough to handle. But Markel Medeiros also has a little bit of a wrestling threat. I think he's good in that field. He's younger. He's training at Factory X. I think this guy just took a year off and just worked and got better and got better and got better. So if he's out here, he's fighting now. I think he's going to win. He's also the guy that if it's a close fight again, the UFC would rather Markel Medeiros win than Austin Hubbard. And I just know that the UFC is scripted. So if it's a close fight, they're going to pick their guy that they want to win, even though the judges aren't controlled by the UFC. You're stupid if you don't believe that. I'm not saying they're necessarily controlled by Dana White, but you're stupid if you think that it's not going to go the way the UFC would prefer it. I think they're going to want the 28-year-old 9-1 guy to go 10-1 if it's a close fight versus Austin Hubbard, who's making his second run in the UFC, and he's 33 years old, 17-8, And I actually think Markel Medeiros is going to be able to get this done. I think he's going to be able to stuff takedowns. I think he might be able to get a couple takedowns of his own here on Austin Hubbard. But I think in the striking, he's just going to be faster, more dynamic, more athletic. I think he's going to win another 29-28 decision here against Markel Medeiros. Against Austin Hubbard. So, going Markel Medeiros decision here. Moving on, Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. I'm going Jamal Emmers. I'm picking him to win by TKO. Gabriel Miranda is just one of these guys that he brings strict jiu-jitsu to the MMA octagon, which, again, he's a great jiu-jitsu practitioner, but it's really, really hard to be successful when all you bring to the cage is jiu-jitsu in MMA. And I think Jamal Emmers has pop. He's got power. He's got good wrestling. He's got good takedown defense. He's got really good submission defense as well. I think he's going to be able to keep this on the feet here and land a big shot for a knockout. I'm going to choose round one. I think Jamal Emmers is going to find a round one knockout. He's one of these guys that's criminally slept on, in my opinion. The career just hasn't gone his way. He got subbed by Sabatini, and Miranda's a great submission artist, but Sabatini's a lot better at the MMA grappling and control. He lost a split to Jack Jenkins, something he could have arguably won. He knocked out Dennis Bazookia in a round. He got knocked out by Nate Landwehr, but he almost knocked out Wow. He almost knocked out Nate Landwehr twice in that fight. I think he's just going to find the chin of Gabriel Miranda and knock him out in the first round here. When I remember Gabriel Miranda's last fights, KO'd by Charriere. He subbed Shane Young. Congrats. Everyone kind of beat Shane Young. BSD TKO'd him. He had 2 submissions in the regional scene. I don't think Gabriel Miranda is fit for the MMA octagon, if I'm going to be real, dude. And, like, I get it. I'm just some guy behind a fucking camera talking it. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm trying to give honest predictions. Like, the reach of Jamal Emmers is going to be a problem here for Miranda, especially for him to get on the inside. I think he's just going to shoot a lot of takedowns, try and pull guard, and try and get a submission off. Don't expect him to be able to hang on the feet. I think Jamal Emmers is going to land a left hand and absolutely knock him out. So, a right hand. I guess he is orthodox. I always picture him as a southpaw. I don't know why. Maybe it's the guys that are on this side of the screen for ESPN because they're facing left-handed. Like their stance is that of a southpaw when they're on that side of the tail of the tape, I guess we'll call that. I'm going to pick Jamal Emmers round 1 KO, dude. It's Gabriel Miranda. Like, come on. Vic Pichel versus Rafa Garcia. I actually think Vic Pichel's going to look pretty decent at moments in this fight. But I think ultimately the age is going to catch up to him. I don't think he's going to be as fast. I don't think Rafa Garcia is like an absolute marauder, like a murderer in this division. But I do think he's going to be able to march forward. He's going to eat a couple shots of Pichel's. But then I think he's going to be able to land some of his own, get takedowns. Land some shots of his own, get takedowns. Get off ground and pound control. Hold Pichel against the cage. I think Garcia is going to win 29-28 on 2 scorecards and 30-27 on another scorecard. Unanimous decision here. Again, we're in Mexico City. He's the Mexican guy. And I get he's not as tall in the octagon as Vic Pichel, but I think he's going to look bigger. Like, the muscle mass is going to be there. He's going to look very dense. He always does when he walks in that cage, and he's very, very physical. So I think Rafa Garcia is going to have a lot of success in this fight. I think he's going to be able to land some shots of his own. He's going to eat a couple. Granted, he will eat a couple. But I think he's going to land some of his own. I think he's going to be able to implement the grappling to get a win. So I'm going with Rafa Garcia to win a decision here. By the way, this one is going to be an entertaining decision. This is going to be a sick knockout. I think this one's going to be a little bit of a snoozy decision. There's going to be cool moments in this fight, but there's going to be a snoozy decision. Moving on, Lupe Godinez versus Julia Palastri. I think Lupe Godinez is one of the better female fighters on the roster, especially at strawweight. I think she got robbed in her last fight against Mackenzie Dern. I don't want to say robbed because it was close, but I thought she beat Mackenzie Dern. I did. I thought she won that one 29-28. She didn't get finished by Verna Jandiroba. Everyone in the strawweight division gets fucking finished by Verna Jandiroba at this point. Like, she's submitting everyone, and Lupe Godinez didn't get submitted. Julia Palastri is okay. Like, Lupe destroyed Tabitha Ricci. She got a split because Dana fucking smokes Callum Walsh's rod more than Tabitha Ricci does. I get that these aren't great wins like Elise Reed and Emily Ducote, even though both these girls are coming off wins recently. I just don't think Palastri is going to be able to deal with the power. I think Lupe Godinez has more power. I think she's more physical. I think she can implement the grappling a little bit better. And Julia Palastri's good, dude. Like, she's not terrible. Split with Corey McKenna isn't a great look. She lost to Josephine Newt. She's all right. I think Lupe's gonna get it done, dude. It's really that easy. Like, why am I breaking this down in like insane levels? I think from everything we've seen in the octagon so far, Lupe's the better fighter. She's the more physical fighter. And she's from Mexico. Like, they're going to give her the win. So I'm going with Lupe Godinez to win this fight. I think she's going to win a 30-27 decision. I think she dominates Julia Palastri in this fight. Moving on, Christian Rodriguez versus Melquiz Acosta. You know what I'm doing if I'm scrolling down here. I'm just making sure I haven't picked any yet. And I am actually going to go with the underdog of Melquiz Acosta here. I like Christian Rodriguez a lot. I think he's a very, very good fighter. I think he's technical. I think his boxing's good. I think he's good at like walking people down. But the type of prospects he's beaten are the undefeated prospects that are small, that are like his size. He hasn't had success beating someone bigger than him in the octagon. And when I say that, I mean like physical size. I don't mean like weight, because they're obviously all supposed to be the same weight, even though Christian Rodriguez missed weight twice to get victories over undefeated fighters. Like, he beat Rosas, missed weight, beat Simon, missed weight, all by decision, was just bigger than them in there, had the cardio advantage, beat Bulgarian, even though I think he lost that fight. I do, but that was another undefeated prospect. These are undefeated prospects he's beaten. Then he fights someone much bigger than him in Julia Rosa, gets subbed. Then he fights someone in Austin Bashi who's a lot taller than him as well, but Austin Bashi is shit. He's got a sick grappling game. He is terrible on the feet. And I know Christian Rodriguez is a very solid at being able to defend takedowns and out-cardio you at the end of the fight. I think Melquiz Alcasta is a little bit of a different game. Yes, he can grapple. Yes, he has submissions. I don't know that he'll catch Christian Rodriguez with a submission. Maybe the guillotine, his guillotine's nasty. He just got that submission guillotine over Andre Fili. I think his kicks are very good. And that's where I think he's going to win this fight. I think Christian Rodriguez is going to be looking to get in boxing range, and Melquiz Alcasta is going to be able to land some elbows, kind of fight a Muay Thai fight. But I think he's going to be able to kick the legs off of Christian Rodriguez, kick him in the body a bunch, bring that kick upstairs. I really do think he's going to be able to mix it up very well against Christian Rodriguez with the kicks and the punches. Maybe shoot a couple of takedowns to see how that goes. And I think he's much bigger when he steps in that octagon against Christian Rodriguez. So I'm going to go with Melquiz Alcasta as an underdog pick here. I think he's going to win a decision, honestly. These are all decisions, man. I think this is going to be one of those fun, sloppy ones at some point. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be pretty technical. Third round is going to be an absolute brawl. I'm going to go with Melquiz Alcasta here to win a decision, man. 29-28. I don't like that I've picked one finish and 4 decisions, but that's just like, these are all the lighter weight classes, dude. Like, it's very light weight classes on this card. It is what it is. Moving on. Jose Medina versus Ateba Gaudier. I should pick Gaudier by KO, dude. Look at his reach. And Medina is he's just fat and out of shape. Like, he really is. He's just a blob at middleweight. I think Gaudier has a cardio problem, though. And we're at elevation. That's my thing. We're at elevation here, too. And I understand most fighters go to train for a month at elevation. But I don't know that Gaudier's been doing that. I think he's got insane pop. He's so much bigger than Jose Medina, dude. He's got to get the knockout win. I have this horrifically weird feeling that Jose Medina's a tough guy to finish. He is a tough guy to finish, and he might be able to out-cardio Gaudier as it goes on. Like, Jose Medina's training in Bolivia. He's training at insane levels of elevation. Gaudier is not. He's training at sea level. I think that matters, man, when you're fighting in Mexico City. I do think it's going to matter. And I think Gaudier has one-punch knockout power. I just don't know that Jose Medina's the guy to get knocked out in the first round. And I think Medina's terrible, dude. Like, I really do. He's just so blobby. I want to see this fight back with Zachary Reese again. This guy in fighting on Cannoneer cards, man. Oh, it was a 30-27 just. Yeah, it was super low output. There was some control time difference. Can Gaudier grapple him? Probably. Like, Gaudier should win by knockout, but, like, the only thing that's making me think he's not going to is we're at it's the Mexico City elevation that's making me really, like, think about this a lot. I'm going to pick Ateba Gaudier. I'm going to pick him by knockout. I would not put him in a single parlay. Do not dare putting him in a parlay. Because if this gets out of the first round, I can see Jose Medina winning rounds 2 and 3 based off of, like, cardio, pushing the pace, and Gaudier just gassing out super bad. So I'm going to go with Ateba Gaudier by knockout. It's a tricky one, though. Moving on, Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Talking about ones that aren't tricky. Edgar Chairez is going to win. I think he actually might be able to even latch up a submission here or get a knockout. I think he finds a finish in the second or third round. CJ Vergara does a lot of running around, throws a lot of volume. But Edgar Chairez is good. Like, he is good, and he's fought, like, some tough competition. Like, he fought Joshua Van in one of the more fun fights of the year, realistically, on the, I think it was on my top 25 fight of the year list on the Sphere. He fought a sick fight with Joshua Van, almost knocked him out with a spinning elbow, was causing some serious damage in that first round with the low kicks and the boxing, And I think his boxing with low kick combination is very dangerous for flyweights. He destroyed Daniel Lacerda, subbed him twice. That's not a no contest. That should be a sub. Lost to Taira, but got to a decision with him. He's gone like into the fourth round. I don't think cardio is an issue for him. I just think he's kind of I think he's the ability to be a finisher in this fight. I think he's going to find a knockout over CJ Vergara, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to be able to land a lot of really good low kicks, limit the mobility of CJ Vergara, and then be able to implement his boxing and land some crisp 1-2s right down the pipe. And one of them's going to end up catching CJ Vergara. I'm going second round KO from Edgar Chairez. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. I think Ronaldo Rodriguez is a little overrated. He is a like kill or be killed guy to go in there, but I thought he lost to Ode Osborne. I honestly thought Ode Osborne won that fight. It was a good fight. It was an absolute scrap. Kevin Borjas is a tough guy to finish. He really is. Like, he got finished by Alessandro, but look at this guy's average opponent, dude. Alessandro Costa. Joshua Van. He actually won a decision over Diaz, but like, I think Borjas is a lot better than he gets credit for. I really do. I think this is just one of those fights, man, where like Borjas is going to win in all of our... This is literally going to be Blachowicz versus Olberg again. It's going to be one where it's a close fight. Borjas wins in most of the fans' eyes. And Ronaldo Rodriguez gets his hand raised because we're in Mexico City. He's Mexican. He's the up-and-coming guy that the UFC really want to promote. Even though Borjas is young, he's 27 years old. Like, Ronaldo Rodriguez is the guy that the UFC is going to try and promote. He was yapping at the press conference last time. I think he has a good submission game, too, good takedown game, but I think Kevin Borjas' takedown defense is decent. I do. And he's fought Joshua Van and Alessandro Costa, two extremely tough opponents. I just think Ronaldo Rodriguez is going to rob Kevin Borjas here, man. I do. I'm going to pick Ronaldo Rodriguez to win a 29-28 split decision. And I think it's going to be one that we all think Borjas won, but Ronaldo Rodriguez gets his hand raised. So I'm going Ronaldo Rodriguez decision here. Moving on, David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. I don't understand why this is on the main card instead of a Christian Rodriguez Melquizel Costa. I don't understand why it's on the main card over that, but I'm going to go with David Martinez to get a knockout here. I think Simon Oliveira is just... I think he's all right. His jiu-jitsu game's very, very good. He's just been finished a lot recently, dude. Like, he's on a little bit of a losing streak here. I don't like the inactivity. It's been since January of 2020. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He really hasn't fought in 2 years. Yeah, I'm going to go with David Martinez to get a finish here. I'm going to pick him by round 1 knockout, probably. He's got the fucking basketball shorts on. Yeah, I'm going to pick David Martinez by round 1 knockout. Guy in Mexico City, too. If it goes to decision, they're just going to give it to him. So I'm going to pick David Martinez round 1 knockout. There's not much to break down here. I don't know either of these guys too well. Moving on, Raul Rosas versus Vince Morales. I think the line's too big. I think Vince Morales' grappling's pretty good. I think his striking's decent. But I'm going to go with Raul Rosas Jr. I think he's going to actually find a submission here. I think he's been improving, and I think he's going to continue to get better. The Arichi Long fight was not overly impressive. I think he's tried to strike a little too much with that. I don't think he's going to do that here with Vince Morales, knowing the danger in the low kicks that Vince Morales can possess. Listen, I love picking Vince Morales, man. I've done it a bunch of times. I picked him to win as an underdog against Elijah Smith. He almost did. He had a close fight with Elijah Smith. Didn't get his hand raised. I actually did not pick him against Taylor Lapulus. I picked Taylor Lapulus. But then I saw him go on this win streak, and before that, I picked him against, Actually, I'm going to take all that back. Well, not the first two. I thought he was going to upset Elijah Smith. I'm going to be real, but this guy's just... Man, I like Vince Morales, too. I like his style. He's fun. I actually think this is going to be a fun fight, but I think Raul Rosas is going to be able to find a submission here. I think it's going to be a standing rear naked choke. That's what I'm going to go with. I think he's going to be able to transition to the back. Vince Morales is going to do a good job of keeping it from going to the floor. But what's going to end up happening is Raul Rose is just going to transition to sit on the back of Vince Morales and find a rear naked choke. I'm going to go round 1 submission here. I think Vince Morales is... He's got the skills, man. He's struggled to get the wins in the UFC octagon, and that's where it's hard for me to pick him here. So I'm going Raul Rosas, round 1 submission. Oh, boy, the body cam's going off, boys. Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. Listen, here's the thing about Joe Pyfer, man. When he's in there and he's ready to scrap, the body cam goes off and you're dead. You are dead. Joe Pyfer's turning off the body cam in this fight. But I'm going to make a hot take here. Joe Pyfer is going to win a decision, not get a knockout. That's what I see happening here, man. I think Joe Pyfer is going to look insanely good in round 1, having moments where he wobbles Kelvin Gastelum, even gets a knockdown. Kelvin Gastelum survives. Round 2, Joe Pyfer has some great pressure and strength in the first half of the round, lands big shots, lands some really good low kicks, and wins the round. Then Kelvin Gastelum's going to turn the Jets on in round 3, put Joe Pyfer on the back foot a lot. Pyfer's going to land some shots. Kelvin's going to land some shots. Round 3 is going to be a war. But Joe Pyfer's going to get his hands raised in a decision here. Dude, he's probably going to be hitting my DM saying, have you not seen me hit the punching bag machine? I'm literally the most powerful guy the UFC has ever seen. I'm stronger than Francis Ngannou. Listen, dude, I know it. Don't turn the body cam off. I'm surrendering. Pyfer. What was the reason for you pulling me over, Pyfer? Listen, that's it, buddy. Body cam off. Out of the vehicle now. I get it, Pyfer. I get it, dude. But the body cam may be going off. But when the bell rings, it's going back on, and you're going to see that it's Joe Pyfer by decision here. I think he's going to win a decision. I don't think he gets the knockout over Kelvin, dude. I think Kelvin's a really hard guy to finish. I think if you are to finish him, it's a submission. Could see an arm triangle happening here. Kelvin don't get knocked out, buddy. Won a decision against Chris Curtis, lost to Cannonier, lost to Whitaker, 2 murderers. Not that Pyfer isn't a murderer, but these are 2 fucking... Listen, I get that Whitaker, like a lot of people troll him because he doesn't get finishes, he doesn't hit hard. He does hit hard, and he hits very precisely. It's just like his average opponent's a fucking tough guy. Chris Curtis, he beat by decision. There was a little headbutt involved. That's a tricky matchup, but he did win that fight. Sean Brady, he got submitted against in the 3rd round. We just saw what Sean Brady did, dude. Like, he beat Daniel Rodriguez. It was getting close at moments, but, like, he beat Daniel Rodriguez. I don't think he's getting knocked out by Pyfer, dude. I'm going to pick Joe Pyfer to win this fight by 29-28 decision. I think he loses the 3rd round, but wins the first 2, getting a couple knockdowns in the first. Moving on, Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. I mean, these guys are at a pick on me here. Dude, I did not pick many underdogs, did I? Just picked 1. I'm picking Dober. I think Manuel Torres is going to look great in the first round. I think he's going to hurt Drew Dober all over the place. And I think he's going to end up having a cardio problem in round 2. Now, I know that you see the name Mexico next to his name, but he's Mexican. Like, he doesn't have a cardio problem. He actually does. He doesn't train in Mexico City. Drew Dober trains at Elevation Fight Team in Denver. Trains at very high elevation. Drew Dober's cardio has always been great. And he walks forward. This is going to be a car crash, sick fight in the first round. I think Dober's going to survive the first round, get out there in the second round. Torres, about halfway through, is going to start tiring out, and Drew Dober's going to land that big left hand to put Manuel Torres out. I'm going round 2 KO from Drew Dober in this fight here, man. And I bet he's going to become an underdog. So, dude, I'm telling you, this is technically an underdog pick. He was an underdog earlier in the week, too. Drew Dober, round 2 KO. Manuel Torres gasses out in the second round. Steve Erceg versus Brandon Moreno. Everybody and their mother's picking Brandon Moreno for this fight, man, and I get it. Like, I really do get it. It's Steve Erceg, man. It's just the past couple fights have not been as... I mean, he's lost 2 in a row. I guess that's the way that I'll put it. Lost 2 in a row. Got KO'd by Kai France in a tough way. And lost a decision to Pantoja that a lot of people think he won. Before that, who were the guys that he was really beating? He knocked out Schnell with not a great chin, but it was a perfect shot that would have sat anyone down, I think. Except for Pantoja, probably. Alessandro Costa's a very good win. David Dvorak's a really good win. Then you have Brandon Moreno here, who's coming off his best performance of his career against Amir Albazi, who's a very one-dimensional garbage fighter. Robbed Kai Kara-France. I don't like Amir Albazi at all, if you can't tell. Lost to Pantoja, had a really good fight with him. This is a bad look against Brandon Royval, man. And then he fought Figgy like 15 times. Listen, their common opponent right now is Pantoja and Kai Kara-France. I would argue Erceg and Moreno both had equally good performances against Pantoja. Maybe Erceg did a little bit better, but like especially defending the grappling, Erceg did a little bit better, but he had a chance to win that fight where Moreno was like kind of catching up from like getting hurt in that fight a lot. I think Moreno can get hurt. I think Erceg's got some pop. I don't think Moreno has the kind of pop that Steve Erceg does. You know what I mean? And I'm actually going to pick Steve Erceg to win this fight here. I think he's going to win a decision here, 48-47. I think Moreno's going to look good. This is going to be a war. I think this is going to be a very, very good fight that Erceg ends up pulling the decision out of. I do. I like Brandon Moreno a lot. As far as the boxing goes, I think Moreno does a great job of using the jab, following up with a double jab too. I think Erceg's combinations are also very good, where he mixes in the hooks, the uppercuts, the body shots. In the grappling, I'm going to say that they're both very even in the grappling. I think this stays on the feet most of the time. Moreno might try and wrestle, Erceg might get a reversal, or Erceg might try and wrestle, Moreno might get a reversal, get the back, and I think this is just going to be such a back and forth fight. The line being plus 200 to Erceg's a little nuts to me. I think Erceg is very, very good. And I think Moreno's also very, very good. But I can just see Steve Erceg's combinations hurting Moreno more than Moreno's combinations end up hurting Steve Erceg. And I know what you're thinking. Dude, Steve Erceg got knocked out by Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France kind of has power for the flyweight division, dude. He throws so fast. Like, he is so fast. And he's got pop, and it was a big overhand that knocked him out. I don't think Moreno's going to be able to land the big overhand to knock out Erceg. And he might land a big overhand. He doesn't have the power that Kai Kara-France has. I'm going to be totally honest. I think that Moreno has tremendous cardio, can put a pace on you. I don't think Steve Erceg has a cardio problem. I don't. I just think that when we're watching this fight, Moreno's going to have a lot of volume. Erceg's going to have some volume as well. But when you see Steve Erceg land a combination, I think you're going to see have moments where Moreno's like wobbled and taken a step back. Like the combinations are going to have more effect on Moreno than Moreno's combinations are going to have an effect on Steve Erceg. And that's where I think he's going to win this fight, 48-47 decision. I'm picking Steve Erceg as the underdog. Going back to it, we're going through underdog picks just to make sure it's Erceg. Dober's going to be an underdog. I obviously picked Pyfer, Rosas, David Martinez. I think Borjas is going to win in our eyes, but Rolando Rodriguez is just going to get given the decision. Edgar Shayrez, Teba Gaudier, don't bet on him because Jose Medina weirdly can somehow like pull off the biggest fluke of all time. Melquizael Costa, underdog pick. Then I went all favorites, pretty much finishing out. Lupi, Rafa, Jamal Emmers, Markel Medeiros. These are the picks and predictions for UFC Mexico City. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Feeling a good week, man. Feeling a good week.